Hello everyone, welcome to a new deck profile, this time for Lost World Dinosaurs. My last video was so well received that I thought I would go ahead and do another deck that I have. I regularly run this. This is won me tournaments. I love dinosaurs, I'm a big fan, and I'm a big fan of wrestling as well, so when you have the chance to put those two together, why wouldn't you? You know how this works, I'll go through the deck, and yeah. We'll have some fun. So first off, we've got 3 Soul-Eating Oviraptor. This is our preferred normal summon for the deck. When it's summoned, you can take a dinosaur from your deck, either add it to your hand, send it to the graveyard. So you can use this to search for an ultimate Conductor Tyranno if you need it in your hand. You can send Overtext Coatless to the graveyard to get a search. This is really, really good. It has a secondary effect as well, which coincides with Lost World, where you can special summon a level 4 or lower dinosaur from the graveyard by destroying a dinosaur monster on the field. That combos with Lost World, but I'll get to that later. Then we've got 3 of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. As boss monsters go, this is huge. 3500 body, it can attack every monster your opponent controls once each. It can destroy a monster to turn everything face down. This card does not care about U-Links. It will just attack over everything. It can turn things face down. It's a Book of Moon on steroids. It's 3500. There's so much to love about Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and it's really cheap. Next we have 2 baby Cerosaurus. We don't want to draw these. What we want to do with these is destroy them in the deck using Lost World's effect. What happens when this card is destroyed? You get to special summon a level 4 or lower dinosaur. So what you would want is destroy this, summon an Oviraptor, or summon a Dinowrestler Stego. But that is ultimately what this is for. We don't want to draw this, which is why I'm only running it at 2. Because if it's in our hand, it can be bricky. It doesn't have much attack. It's only here so that we can destroy it. Then we've got 1 Miscellaneosaurus. If this wasn't limited, we would play more. But we can discard it from our hand to protect all our dinosaurs during the main phase from activated effects. And further, you can banish it and any number of dinosaurs from the graveyard to special summon a dinosaur from the deck. With the level equal to the number of dinosaurs you banished. Mainly what I use this for is to banish it for Yugioh, so that I can go into synchro plays. If this is level 1, you just banish Miscellaneosaurus, get this from deck, and then you can synchro up. Next, we've got 1 copy of Overtext Coatless. The reason is, I've never played a game where this hasn't been searched in some way, or sent to the graveyard, or whatever. If we run it at 2, it breaks. We only need the 1, so I've never played a game where this hasn't come up. So, that 1 works for me. Now we're moving into the Dinowrestlers. We've got 1 Capitera. This is clutch non-destruction removal if your opponent has more monsters. It doesn't, I believe it sends to the graveyard. Yeah, so it targets, but it doesn't destroy. So this can help out U-Links. Anytime your opponent has more monsters, this is useful. The main Dinowrestler is Pancratops. This card's becoming a bit of a meme in that it's really splashable, it's level 7, really easy to special summon, and it's 2600 attack. What we like it for is that it's quick effect removal. You can tribute a Dinowrestler as a quick effect to target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. So sometimes I'll tribute this. If I have other Dinowrestlers, I'll tribute them, obviously, because this is a bigger beat stick, but really easy to summon. This procs Lost World, giving your opponent a token, which I'll get to when I talk about that card. Pancratops is amazing, I love it, and it really helps with the OTK game. Then we've got 2 Dinowrestler Stego. Ideally, you don't want to see this in hand. If you special summon this card using something like Miscellaneosaurus or Wild Dino Wrestling, it then adds a Pancratops to hand. It's level 4, it's Earth. Ideally, we would want this to make Naturia Beast with Alo. I'll get to that later. We run it at 2 because this card does nothing when we normal summon it. so we don't want to see it too often. We've got one giant Rex. When this is banished, it comes back to the field. We want that in the graveyard so that we can banish it for the summon of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. It will come back. Then finally, we've got Droll and Lockbird. This is a go second deck. I used to run this deck with lots of hand traps, but I've cut them for the Dinowrestlers, and Droll and Lock is the one that I thought should stay. I've only got one copy of Ash, so I can't really run that at free. And in my local meta, Droll and Lockbird is really good. There's lots of searching, so Droll shuts that down. It works really well for me. In the last tournament I won, I used this quite often. It's really, really good, really powerful, and it's a very good hand trap. Moving on to the spell cards. We've got 3 copies of Lost World. So what this does, it reduces the attack of all non-dinosaurs by 500 points. If it's on the field and a dinosaur monster is summoned, you then give your opponent a Jurassic token. While that card is on the field, your opponent cannot target other monsters with effects other than this token. Giving your opponent a token like this is really good if there are decks that rely on having an empty field, like Time Lords. This screws with them. If there's a deck that targets, this screws with them. It's really, really good. Finally, when a normal monster on the field would be destroyed, this counts as a normal monster, you can protect that monster and instead destroy a monster in your deck. So ideally what we would do is Overraptor, have this on the field, give them a token, search Miscellaneosaurus, activate Miscellaneosaurus, try to destroy this to special Miscellaneosaurus, use Lost World to protect it, destroy Babysaurus, summon out another level 4, preferably Cistego, search Pancratops, overlay for a rank 4. I'll do a separate video of combos where I'll practice hands and take them to like their full fruition, but this is really, really good. I love this card. I've tried lots of different versions of dinosaurs, and this is the one that I prefer. Next, we've got 2 copies of World Dinowrestling. While this is on the field and you control a Dinowrestler, each player can only attack with 1 monster per turn. If I've got Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, that doesn't matter because that attacks everything anyway, so it can just do all of its attacks no problem. Ideally, what we want though is we want this in the graveyard, because if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can banish this from the graveyard to special summon a Dinowrestler from the deck. That would be Cistego, that could be Pancratops, but we want this in the graveyard, so that's why we have it at 2, because if we get it in our opening hand, it's not the worst. We have got ways of getting it to the graveyard, but ideally we don't want to see it. We've got 2 terraforming, we run 5 field spells, so terraforming allows us to search for the other copy if we've only drawn 1. 3 copies of Fossil Dig. This is a straight up search for a level 6 or lower dinosaur. So we use this for Overraptor essentially, or Miscellaneosaurus if we already have the Overraptor. Really, really good, adds a lot of consistency to the deck. We've got 3 Foolish Burial Goods. We run 2 copies of World Dinowrestling and 1 copy of Metal Foes Fusion. So you activate this, you send either that or Metal Foes Fusion to the graveyard. You've got graveyard set up. Again, it adds consistency. We got 1 Metal Foes Fusion. This can be sent off of Foolish Burial Goods, and you can return it from your graveyard to the deck and draw 1 card. So it's a straight draw. It's really, really good. This does brick if you open it in your first hand. You can't do anything with it while it's in your hand, but as I mentioned, we have got ways of getting rid of cards in the hand. So this isn't such a big issue. I think I may have bricked in the last tournament. I may have drawn this once, but it's a one-of. It doesn't come up very often, but it's good getting that extra draw. We've got 2 double Evo Pill. Now, this card allows you to summon a dinosaur from the deck by banishing a dinosaur and non-dinosaur from your hand or graveyard. This can also be searched off of Overtext. So, you're going second, you've used a hand trap. Your turn, Solid and Overraptor, send Overtext, search this, you've got an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno by banishing the Droll and the Overtext. I run it at 2 because at 3 it bricks, and at 1, although it's searchable, I do like occasionally top decking it. If I'm playing a game that's quite a long drawn out, I top deck this, it allows me to carry on. So I really, really like this card, and I'm glad it exists. We've got 2 Twin Twisters. As I mentioned, this is a go second deck, and we have got cards that we want in the graveyard. So if we, say, draw a World Dinowrestling, we can send it to the graveyard with Twin Twisters to destroy opponent's back row. We can send Metal Foes Fusion if we need, if it comes up. I think, again, running it at 3 is probably a bit too bricky, considering we have other spell and trap removal, but Twin Twisters, for now, works really well. And finally, we've got 1 copy of Dark Hole. I'm running this over Raigeki, because this can be used to destroy a baby Cerosaurus, which then can be, which allows you to then activate Lost World. Raigeki doesn't do that, but this does, so that's why in this deck especially, this is kind of slightly preferable to Raigeki. Moving on to the extra deck now, we've got Nightmare Phoenix, we've got Nightmare Mermaid, we've got Nightmare Cerberus. I run the 1 copy of Mermaid just in case I get stuck with an Ibly, and the Cerberus and Phoenix obviously help with discarding stuff from the hand, and they pop cards as well. We run 1 copy of Pentastag. It can be made with 2 monsters, and it makes it that any monster it points to does piercing damage. This is amazing with Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Obviously Tyranno can attack every monster on the field once. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, I forgot an effect from earlier. It does say that if it attacks a defense position monster, you can just send it to the graveyard and do 1000 damage. That is optional. Sometimes, if I know what a card is, because I've already flipped it face down, give it Pentastag, just bump straight into it, do like 3500 damage. This is a great combo, and it's won me games. So finally for links we have Reprodocus. This is made with just 2 monsters, and it allows you to target a monster it points to and change its type or its attribute. So what we want, if we want to make this, we want an Earth level 4 on the field, and we want Yugioh there. Use Reprodocus' effect to change this to Earth. Synchro for 5, you've got Naturia Beast. If we're forced to go fast, this is the board I make, because Naturia Beast locks out spell cards. Your opponent can activate them, you can just negate them by milling cards from the top of your deck. So these 2 together, the fact that we can... Yugioh is a super searchable tuner, combined with Reprodocus being able to change its attribute, that's why we run it. It's good enough that it warrants being run. For synchros then, as I mentioned, we've got Naturia Beast, we've got High Speed Droid Chambara, and we have Trishula. High Speed Droid Chambara helps us with the OTK in that it can attack twice, and every time it attacks it gains 200 attack points. So we try and get this, combined with an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, you're getting close to game. Trishula, when it's summoned, you can banish a card from your opponent's field, hand, and graveyard. Really good removal, especially if there's something in your opponent's graveyard or your field that's causing you problems. Just crack a Trishula on it. Okay, so for the XEs, we have Tornado Dragon. Detach a material to destroy a spell or trap card on the field as a quick effect. It's really good. Ragnar Zero, detach a material from this card to target a face-up monster your opponent controls, whose attack is different than its original attack, destroy it and draw a card. This is excellent because Lost World reduces all non-dinosaur monsters' attack by 500, so this comes up very, very often. You've got Utopia and Utopia the Lightning. They're used to get over big things that, big link monsters or stuff that Ultimate Conductor cannot deal with. I very rarely go into it, but it's here if I need it. We've got Baguska. If I can't get to Naturia Beast, Baguska is a very consistent card that I can get to going fast. And we all know what Baguska does. It turns everything to defense mode and makes sure that defense monsters cannot activate their effects. So this locks out a lot of plays for your opponent going fast. I would aim for Naturia Beast first, but if not, Baguska. Ivysaur, Dolka and Lagia are a Solemn Warning and a Solemn Strike on legs. I run lots of level 4 dinosaurs, so it makes sense to have these two in here. Thank you very much for watching. That was the deck profile for my Lost World Dinowrestlers. I will be uploading a video very soon where I have a hand and kind of practice it, and you can see what the thought process is going into me playing. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you've got any comments on what I'm doing wrong, what I could be doing better, any questions you might have, let me know down in the comments below and I will get back to you. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I've been Sam. Have a good day.